All right. Hello, hello. Welcome to. Uh, I'm not gonna call this an episode of the Weirdest the Weird podcast. I recently watched this film, this amazing film, Decision to Leave, and I thought I'd share my thoughts. A quick one take, just like I did for The Whale with Brendan Fraser. This movie was fantastic, and I was just so elated and couldn't hold my excitement in to share with you guys just how amazing this film was. So I thought I would just make an episode today and just share my thoughts. Um, Again, this film came out in 2022. The director who directed this directed the original Old Boy, not the Spike Lee version, the original Old Boy. Um, he's an amazing director. I'm gonna be completely honest. I've only seen bits and pieces of the original Old Boy, so I have yet to watch it in its glorious entirety. Um, but I again really wanted to get down to business and share this film with you guys because it's one of the best films of 2022. And I'm going to be completely honest. It is rather unfortunate that it got snubbed at this year's Oscars. I was kind of hoping for a Parasite moment, where it would be recognized, but it did unfortunately get snubbed. But that's okay. The way that I see it is that not all movies have to be recognized prestigiously with a coveted award to recognize that it's amazing. Um, that's how I see it, and yeah, um, I thought in terms of again, I don't want to. This review will contain spoilers for the film, specifically the ending of how it ends. Um, I highly, in fact, I request that you guys watch the movie first and then come back um, to this review because this review will not only be a review but also a breakdown of some of the characteristics in the film of the two main characters, Jun and Sore. Um, and also, I will be talking about specific sequences in this film that make it amazing, and some important plot points here and there. So please pause this review if you're watching it right now and go watch the movie and then come back. All right, that's your warning. From here on out, it's going to be spoilers here and there. I thought I'd start off by talking about the characteristics of the two main characters. Um, I'll start with Jun, who's the detective in the story. Um, Again, compare and contrast. He has the characteristics of a mountain. Um, he does state himself in the film that he is a very stiff person. He's stiff. He's not used to change. Um, a couple times in the film, he uses eye drops. That's like another indication to me that his eyes getting dry is, you know, true to statement of the fact that he can't keep his eyes hydrated. And I kind of see that as like, I don't know, a mountain thing. Mountains, especially the top of their, summit or their head, um, thinner air, less water. So that's the way that I saw it. And he's stating that he's stiff, however, it does give him an edge over his partner. He's attentive, he's physically alert, and he catches two criminals in the film in two separate foot chases. And thanks to this, because of, and again, as a detective, you have to be smart, attentive, alert all the time. It's kind of the only way that you have to get your job done as a cop. And again, there are two separate sequences where there are foot chases, and he's able to catch the criminals with ease while his partner is just slacking behind. He explains to his partner, you gotta be more aware. You can't just keep eating food all the time. That's the partner's problem. And he also has really bad insomnia. Um, he has this as a problem, and it's also kind of a mountainous characteristic. I feel like mountain never really does have any time to rest. It's just there. It's there as a point, as a reference point for people to travel to if they're lost. They really can't. Uh, they really can't. You know, move around. But when he meets Sore, he states to his wife halfway in the film, I want to be the sea. I am one with the sea. Um, because again, he's starting to fall in love with her, with Sore. And his wife just kind of mundanely states, "You're one with the sea, really? That's a lot of talk for someone who is born in Seoul, which is inland." Um, and it's just such a letdown. Um, and then moving on to Sore's character, uh, in the first interrogation sequence, or in the interrogation sequence talking about her first husband's death, um, she recites a Confucius quote that talks about water. Again, that's it's kind of obvious and on the dot there. Um, and Heijun, when he's talking with her, he states that she was found aboard a shipping boat with 20 other Chinese immigrants trying to be smuggled into Korea, and they were caught by the Coast Guard. So again, being discovered in the sea. It's another big part and big reference to the fact that she is one with the sea. And also, her clothing is very much so has shades of blue, dark blue, and turquoise. Again, all references to the color of the sea. I thought that was also very cool. Um, so, moving from characteristics of these two characters, I just wanted to talk to you in general about the film and specifically the shots. The interview sequence in this film is probably there is one shot that is probably one of the best shots that I've ever seen in terms of filmography ever. Um, it's the fact that the camera, they're able to capture the mirror that is behind them in the background while the characters are in the foreground. And you can tell based on where the camera is focusing if the character is focusing on what the opposite character is thinking and where their mind is at. So the mirror kind of exemplifies and represents where their mind space is at. If they're focusing or if they're just in a daze and kind of confused, and kind of states where their mindset is at. And I just thought it was such a cool shot. And also this film, the shots in this film have some amazing transitions. It's probably, in my opinion, one of the best transitions between shots that I've ever seen in film. I really loved it. And going on from shots to the dialogue in this film, the dialogue is very important. It is written in such a way that is symbolistic to what the character is actually trying to say without being too specific, and also giving context to what a character was saying early in the film. There are some very key dialogue in the movie that a character will repeat that was repeated earlier in the film that gives a lot more meaning, a lot more heftiness to it when it's said the second or third time around. And also, a general note, I love it when a film does not treat the audience like an idiot, writing wise. It doesn't spoon feed exposition and context to the audience. It just drops you in, and boom, character starts talking, and you're just supposed to figure out, okay, what's going on. And that's why I feel like I enjoyed this movie a second time around, because the first time you're getting this information thrown at you really quickly. The dialogue and how the characters speak, it goes by kind of fast. But when you start to watch it a second time and start to pick up on what they actually mean in what they're saying and what's going on in the film as they're saying it, where it is timeline wise, it starts to make a lot more sense. And I love that. I love that about this film. Most of the shot composition in terms of colors in the film is turquoise, and again, that is very intentional foreshadowing to the conclusion of where this film is going plot wise. I feel as though narratively the story talks about Heijun as a character changing, adapting to the way of water, not to be so worried, not to be so bogged down with priorities personally in his life, and to just, in some cases, let go. Sore's character is that opportunity presented to him. It's a wake-up call to him to take such an initiative. Some shots that are mid-composition, that are like, I call it's a low to a high angle shot, or a low to a mid-level shot. It kind of indicates, again, symbolistically, that Heijun as a mountain, and as a detective, more importantly, needs to see the full picture. But any time Sore is, in the room or comes into the room, the camera goes mid-level to, where the audience, where they're seeing Heijun, is on the same eye level as Heijun himself in the shots. And I thought that was that was so cool symbolistically. And a key shot when this happens is when he's first introduced to Sore's character, when she comes to identify her first husband's body. I feel as though these two characters of, what they represent, a mountain rigid in stiffness as Heijun, and Sore being flowing like water, they see themselves as equals. They respect each other, and of course subsequently fall for each other, fall in love. And they're really good at what they do. Heijun is a very proficient detective in catching criminals, and Sore is good at being a criminal, basically scamming people as a con artist and being able to get away. And we soon find out she's able to flee persecution for her first husband's murder because Heijun loves her. And Heijun states, as he states, I'm completely broken. I'm shattered because of you. And he kind of, from that dialogue, says, you're the only person that I know that is really questioning my morality right now. And when he does find her again in Lippo, the relationship dynamic changes. One thing that I noticed. Instead of him as a detective taking notes on her because she is a possible suspect, that's his excuse, the role kind of reverses and she starts spying on him out of love and out of intrigue to him. And he really does. I'm man, I'm looking at my transcript right now, and I do have a big spoiler. uh I'm going to revert from saying that. I'm gonna just move on. But Heijun at one point says to Sore, throw whatever evidence that I have to incriminate you, throw it deep in the ocean. Just throw it somewhere that no one will be able to find it. And again, towards the end of the film, Heijun, at the end, you kind of hope that he's changed his principles as a man to not be so rigid in life and to go with the flow, basically, quite literally. And you know hopefully hope that he's more susceptible and more adaptable to change. Another sign that, if in a perfect sense of what the audience wants, they were to be together in a relationship, excluding all the opposing factors, is if they were together, it wouldn't work. Because, again, not knowing if Heijun would change his methods, characteristically, he is a mountain. And he's always in a daze in his personal life. And he's always going at the behest of what his wife wants, where it is sexually, where she states, we'll have sex every night, even if we're fighting. That's not, first of all, that's not even that's not a great sign of a healthy relationship whatsoever. And secondly, he just goes at what she wants. And he's not making decisions for himself again in his personal life. Whereas Sore is, as a con artist, she's always thinking on her feet. She is willing to leave one temporary life, temporary as in a fake life that she has as a con artist, and to move on to another. And, ripping off people. And that's, again, that is very unfortunate that, it wouldn't work even in a perfect world. But again, I really love this film. I really love that it was a very complex take on a love story, really. A complex take that isn't very shy in admitting that there are no happy endings to a relationship, even in this circumstance. So, yeah, I really love this film. I loved it a lot, and I hope you guys will take the chance to check it out whenever you get the chance. All right, this is Nathan signing off. If you like what you're hearing, be sure to like this video and subscribe. And if you want me to cover something in a future video, be sure to comment down below. Thank you again for listening, and I'll see you on the flip side. Boop!